the Dallas Mavericks to come back from 31 points down, and their dopey fans for a while thought they were going to win the game, only to have their heart ripped out at the end, the most agonizing, painful loss in a playoff game. When you have a big deficit, you come back, you end up getting the lead, you think you're going to win. There's no way the Mavericks can lose this game. They had all the momentum. How'd that work out? Yes, Clippers hold off the rally. They get the victory as most of Dallas's offense and most of the comeback in that game was based on Kyrie Irving, the guy that hates the Jews. He had a big performance there for Dallas. But in the end, they end up losing, and so the first-round series tied up 2-2. It's a best of three. Let's see, who has home court advantage? That's right, the good ship clip. They get the home court advantage back. Now, Kawhi Leonard was out yet again. No Kawhi. Not available. Kawhi Leonard out with right knee inflammation. Right knee inflammation, and it sounds like he's not going to play anytime soon, which is really shocking. Kyrie always shows up. He very rarely misses any games. It's so unlike him to miss a game. I mean, I can't remember the last time Kyrie Irving did not show up to work and put an honest effort in. I barely remember it. I mean, it must have happened in San Antonio a long time ago. Anyway, all right, let's discuss the question here. Paul George and James Harden stepping up down the stretch after the Clippers had given back a massive lead, and they ended up beating the Mavericks. So what is your reaction to all that took place there in the game on Sunday, Game 4? So I've got ravioli and garlic bread, caloric intake, and pontoon boat. And we will combine all of these things together, and we are going to make crutches, which is what the coach there in Minnesota will need. We'll get to that later, but the coach getting injured in an NBA playoff game. But that does not affect the Clipper and the Maverick outcome. So we'll start with this. My reaction to the Clippers beating the Mavericks in Game 4, the Clippers were juggling live hand grenades. They should not have been juggling live. It should have been water balloons. But instead, it turned out to be hand grenades for much of this game, and the shoulda, coulda, woulda situation. You got a 31-point lead. Oh, it's early in the game. It's the second quarter. You're up by 31 points. I get it. But how do you explain ending up in a dogfight? Like, how do you explain that? 31-point lead. And Dallas ended up coming back and actually the lead in that game. Now, my explanation, I know you're very curious what I have to say about this. So my explanation here, they could not stop playing with their food. That's the problem. They assumed, Dallas is going to stop trying to score baskets and we'll just kind of coast to win a victory. We'll play grab ass on the bench. We'll have a grand time. And they started playing with their food. And they had a nice Italian meal there. The Clippers thought they had the kill shot in the second quarter. And it with any reasonable effort, that is the kill shot. And they still won the game anyway. And made it more interesting than it should have been, but they started throwing the ravioli and the garlic bread against the wall, and they were trying to make modern art against the wall, just chucking it against the wall. But Paul George, he was dreadful in the middle part of that, from the late second quarter to the mid-late fourth quarter. Paul George had a minus 29 in that stretch. Now, he made up for it by a herky-jerky three-point shot late in the game, and James Harden, that's why they traded for James Harden, because they know that they can't rely on Kawhi Leonard because Kawhi's soft. Kawhi Leonard's soft, and they needed another star, and so they traded for James Harden. And I know, his playoff Harden, he sucks. Well, he didn't suck in this game. At the end, he did not suck in this game. All right, now on the Dallas side, the Mavericks, their star, Luka Doncic, he said to the assembled media following the game, he said that he feels like he's not doing enough and is letting Kyrie Irving down. Now, if you look at the box score, if you look at the stats, they're like, well, what are you talking about? Luka had 29 points. He had 10 rebounds, 10 assists. Where we come from, that's a triple-double. So what's the big deal? But I'll frame the question this way. Is Luka letting Kyrie down and the Mavericks down with his performance, even though he's got gaudy numbers? So I will go yes, I will nod my head yes on this. And you've got to check the caloric intake because the numbers overall are pretty good. He's got the stats, but they're not efficient stats. A lot of empty calories. We'd already made the comparison that Luka plays a lot like Dak Prescott. There's a lot of vanishing that goes on in key moments, and he admitted to it in this game, which is fine. That's great. But if you look at the numbers, he's shooting less than 40% on two-point shots, 38.6%, which I'm told is not good. And from three-point range, he's the greatest three-point shooter, shooting less than 27% against the Clippers. So he's got volume. He's shooting the ball a lot, so he's got the stats and a lot of the rebounds, some of them after his own missed shots, but the efficiency is not particularly there. Now, he did also say that he's dealing with right knee soreness following the game, and he said it's obviously hurting, was the way that he described it. It's just obviously hurting is what he said. Now, spoiler alert on this one. When you bring it up, he said, well, it's not an excuse, but when you bring it up, you are subliminally planting the seed of the excuse. That's what everyone knows that, right? When you say, well, I'm not making an excuse, but by the way, my knee's killing me. That's an excuse. You did a subliminal mind hack is what you did. That's what he did. And that's a fact, Jack. My name's not Jack, though. All right, now, last word here. What are the chances that Kyrie Irving comes off the deck and actually earns some of his money and performs and closes this thing out? He comes out to win 2 more games, but that Kyrie is not the guy for Dallas, that Kawhi's the guy for the Clippers, and he gets it done. So what are the chances that Kawhi Leonard returns to the Clippers here from right knee inflammation? So I believe there is a better chance that Blake Griffin puts on a cape and jogs back out onto the court and saves the day, and he just retired. There's a better chance of that. Kawhi Leonard has been placed in bubble wrap by the Clippers. They placed him in bubble wrap, and it doesn't matter. It's still not enough. Even though he's in the bubble wrap, the Clippers, if you look at what they've done, they have hired a literal pontoon boat filled with the top trainers and massage therapists and sparing no expense. Steve Ballmer is one of the richest people in the world. This is his toy. This is a little play toy. And so he's sparing no expense. And yet, even with that, they can't get Kawhi to be a dependable player. It doesn't happen. And there's only one conclusion that you can come to, that Kawhi Leonard has a very low pain threshold, that he won't play unless he's perfect, and you're very rarely perfect. And so instead of the, we're going to get her done, and that attitude, instead of that attitude is, we're going to shut her down. That's the attitude. And I'm sick and it makes me want to puke in my mouth thinking about how good this could have been with Kawhi Leonard and how crappy it has been with Kawhi Leonard. It makes me literally want to puke in my mouth thinking about what Kawhi Leonard could have been that he was in Toronto and San Antonio and he hasn't been with the Clippers. And here we are again. Same old, same old, same old. Unable and unwilling to just rub some dirt on it. Get back out there, right? It's playoff time. No. Not Kawhi. I will sit by the cabana at my mansion there in San Diego, and I will wait till I'm 100%. And so either that or he's got the body of a 65-year-old. His body's just falling apart. He's got an old man body. I don't get it. But the lack of perseverance, it's humiliating, is what it is. This is who Kawhi Leonard has been. That's why they went out and got James Harden, because the Clippers cannot depend on Kawhi Leonard. And there's a lot of jock sniffers out there that will make excuses for Kawhi Leonard. I've never been a jock sniffer. I hope to never be a jock sniffer because jocks smell disgusting. So I don't do that. I just look at the results. And I see the same thing. It's patternicity. I admit it over and over. And the fact that you have all these people, an army of people, a convoy of people that are around Kawhi Leonard to make sure that he can get out there and play. And yet, in the big games, he's not there. He's not there. He can't, and that's why you got to get other people.